Hi everyone, my name is Teacher Ilona. Welcome to my channel, and to my subscribers, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'll be going through the Employment Equity Act for grade 12s. I know this was a much suggested video, so I decided let me add it to the schedule and I will be doing that video today. So please comment down below if you have any questions. I'm happy to help, and please let me know what video suggestions you would like, as I am considering them and adding them to the schedule. I hope you enjoy this video. Alright, so in today's video, as I mentioned, we'll be going through the Employment Equity Act, also called the EEA. Right, so first thing we need to do is we need to look at the purpose of the Employment Equity Act. So this act states that employees who do the same work, who work the equal amount of value, must be paid equally. Okay, so it's basically to state if I have two receptionists at my company who are doing the same work, it is then said that they should be paid equally. No discrimination on the grounds of gender in the workplace. So males versus females earning more. This act ensures that that doesn't take place. It promotes equal opportunity and fair treatment in the workplace. It promotes for employees to refer unresolved disputes to the CCMA, and it protects employees from victimization if they exercise the rights given to them by the Employment Equity Act. Then we look at what is the impact on the Employment Equity Act on businesses. So we're going to look at the positives, advantages, and the negatives, the disadvantages. So with the positives, we're looking at the following. It promotes equal opportunity and fair treatment in the workplace. It promotes the implementation of affirmative action measures to redress the imbalances of employment. It provides all employees with an equal opportunity to be selected, appointed, and promoted into a position. It provides employees with legal recourse if they believe they have been unfairly discriminated against. Excuse me. It motivates employees because the workforce is more diverse, representative, and inclusive. It encourages diversity in business by employing people from various racial backgrounds. It encourages consultation between the employer and the employees. It prevents unfair discrimination as it ensures that the workforce represents the demographics of the country, and businesses are in a better position to negotiate contracts with the government, which impacts positively on BEE ratings for the business. Certified psychometric tests can be used to assess applicants, employees, to ensure their suitability. So when we're looking at this, the positives are that it's fair, that they're being treated fairly, and there's equal opportunity for all. Again, we also look at the affirmative action. So in the past, as we mentioned, perhaps there was one gender getting paid more than the other for the same position. Then this act is now making sure that that is being rectified and that there's no discrimination according to race or gender. And then providing an equal opportunity for all that are selected, appointed, or promoted into positions. And then obviously legal recourse. So should you feel you've been unfairly discriminated against, then you can go and dispute that with the CCMA, and you have the right to do so. And then a bit further down, we're looking at businesses being in a better position to negotiate contracts because they are treating their employees fairly. And then the psychometric testing that we're talking about is all in all similar to a personality test that is being done. So, for example, if we're looking for a salesperson, that person needs to be outgoing. They need to be encouraging. They need to be motivating. Okay? So the admin for sales is not too hectic because they need to be very bubbly and welcoming and to make those sales. Then if you're looking at someone who's in a more admin position like finance, we need to make sure that those people are on top of things, that they have attention to detail. So these tests can then classify that and give the employer a better idea of the candidate that is applying for these positions. Then we're looking at the negatives, the disadvantages. There's an increased administrative burden as businesses must compile or submit employment equity reports every 2 years. It's expensive to train or employ someone who knows very little about the Act. Fines and penalties for non-compliance can be very expensive for the business. Employers have to appoint one or more senior manager to ensure the implementation of the plan, which increases salary expenditure. Businesses must submit a compliance certificate before they can conduct business with state businesses. Businesses are sometimes pressurized to appoint an unsuitable employment equity EE person to meet the EE requirements. And then often positions go unfilled because there are no suitable EE candidates. So let's break those down a bit. So obviously the financial burden, they need to get all their documentation in order. They need to get all the reports. Should someone be fairly dismissed or unfairly discriminated against, they need to have a report that the person logged it. They need to have a report of how did the company handle it. They need to have a report of how are they going to ensure that this doesn't happen in the future. So there's a lot of admin surrounding that. And then obviously it's very expensive to train someone who doesn't know about the Act. So now they have to do all the admin around it and they don't know a lot about the Act. Coming to that is appointing one or more senior managers to implement this plan. Okay, and that can obviously, that's an increase in expenditure for the business because that person needs to get paid a salary. And then they must submit a compliance certificate before they can conduct any business with the government or the state. So they have to get their compliance certificates. And in order to get their compliance certificate, they need to make sure that all their reports have been filed and submitted. And then at the bottom, mentioning that companies can become pressurized if they cannot find a suitable employment equity person. Then there are penalties for non-compliance. So businesses may be taken to the labor court for prosecution. Fines may be imposed on businesses that fail to comply with its reporting obligations. The Department of Labor may block non-compliant companies from doing business with the government. So, with that being said, maybe they didn't handle one of their situations correctly, or maybe they're not documenting everything correctly. So that can take them to the labor court for prosecution. Doesn't look good for the company image. Then, fines if the reporting is not being done on time, if the reporting is not being done correctly. And then obviously the last one, the Department of Labor blocking these types of companies that are non-compliant from doing any business or any tenders with the government, which can tarnish the business itself, for one, and secondly, it can tarnish the image of the business. Should it come out that this business is no longer doing government tenders, and then people get wave of why this is happening. A lot of companies rely on the tenders and the opportunities provided by the government. So to be excluded from this can really, really damage a business in their productivity and with their profits. Ways in which businesses can therefore comply with the Employment Equity Act. So we're looking at businesses must guard against discriminatory appointments, promote equal and fair opportunities and treatment, reasonable accommodation of people from designated groups, ensure that there is equal representation of all racial groups in every level of employment, submit the employment equity plan to the Department of Labor, retain designated groups, including skills development of such groups, assessing the racial composition of all employees, including senior management, and then clearly defining the appointment process so that all employees are well informed, use certified psychometric tests to assess applicants or employees to ensure that the suitable candidates are therefore appointed, and ensure that diversity and inclusivity in the business is achieved. So how can a company make sure that they guard against discrimination? They can even have workshops. They can have workshops in empowering their workers to understand what is discrimination, when are they being discriminated against, and to try and prevent discrimination from occurring. So I think just the awareness and therefore the reporting of such. Promoting equal opportunity. So should an opportunity come up, all staff members should be allowed to apply for that position and apply for that opportunity, that there shouldn't be discrimination in that regard. And then obviously from the different designated groups, just making sure that accommodation is being made and that it's fair. Equal representation of racial groups. I think that one speaks for itself. Ensuring that there's equal representation of racial groups across all levels, that we don't have management being one racial group and then all lower management is a different racial group. That shows in itself discrimination. Submitting these employment equity plans to the Department of Labor. And then going further down, making sure that these tests that are being done are actually certified psychometric tests that are being conducted. And then the last one, just ensuring that there is inclusivity in the workplace. Okay, more ways that a business can comply with the Employment Equity Act include implementing affirmative action measures to redress the disadvantages experienced by designated groups, prepare an employment equity plan in consultation with employees, implement an employment equity plan, assign one or more senior managers to ensure that the implementation and monitoring of this plan is being done, eliminate barriers that have an adverse impact on designated groups, retain, develop, and train designated groups, including skills development, regularly report to the Department of Labor on progress in implementing the plan. As we mentioned, so with the first one, those are redressing, should there have been a group that was previously disadvantaged or discriminated against, making sure that there's measures in place so that these people don't be disadvantaged any further. And then preparing an employment equity plan in consultation with employees, explaining to them, right, now we're going to ensure that the employment is fair and that no one's being discriminated against. Here's what we're going to put in place. Then ensuring that the managers make sure that's put in place and that they monitor this plan. All right, we've come to the end of the video. Here are the resources that I've made use of. Link them in my description below. If you click on the link, you will actually have access to these two documents. They are notes and resources provided by the government that you are more than welcome to make use of, and that will help you when studying for business studies. So I've made use of these notes, both of them, for this video to ensure that it's on standard and to ensure that you are getting the accurate and correct information.
Thank you for watching this video and for supporting my channel. I really appreciate it. Have you seen? We've reached 1,000 subscribers. I can't believe. I'm so blessed and I'm so grateful to all of you. May it have been one view, one subscriber, one share. Everything that you guys have done has helped to grow this channel, and I can't wait to see it grow more. So I just want to thank you all for your patience. Thank you for your support, and thank you so much that I'm able to do this on a platform like YouTube. I'm so grateful, and I'm glad that my videos are helping. I love the comments and I love to see the feedback. If you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. And I can't wait to see you in my next video. Bye for now.